So these are my video notes for Texas versus West Virginia. Now this is pretty an uncharacteristic game for Texas in that they got out-rebounded. You don't see that very often as they've got a pretty big team. The other thing is that they're usually quite a balanced team. They have quite a lot of players that can step in and do some really good minutes. However, if I look at the advanced box score, I can see that Cunningham who's usually a very reliable rotation piece. He had a negative 19 plus minus. Even Jones, who's another really reliable piece, was negative 4 and plus minus. And they really relied on essentially only just 5 players. They had 4 players over 30 minutes, and then they also had Jones over 22. But that is reflected in the scoring in that they had five players in double-digit scoring: 14, 15, 19, 12, and 10. The other uncharacteristic thing about their game today was that they were so bad from 3. And if you look at the shot charts over here, you can see that from catch and shoot threes, they were 4 of 16 for 25%, 0.75 points per catch and shoot 3 attempt. However, there is a factor of randomness in there, and that 1 of 7 of those attempts were uncontested. So if you have 7 uncontested attempts and you only score 1 of them, you do have to consider that there is a factor of randomness in that shooting. So you could expect them to essentially come back to the mean or shoot better in the following games, maybe a few good 3-point shooting performances to come. However, they did make threes when it counted. And the video I'm just going to look at, or the video clips I'm going to look at, are about Ramey. So Ramey was their star player in this game. He went like 19, 5, and 6. And it was those 6 assists that really helped Texas win. So as Texas essentially ran 2 different plays in this game. They ran a high ball screen action quite a lot with Coleman, number 2 Coleman, or number 3 Ramey as the handler, going off a number 20 Sims, Jericho Sims ball screen. And Ramey and Coleman were really good through finishing and contact, and they scored 33% of their points and drives off those sort of actions. But the other action that they ran was this really good action in early offense. So someone would bring the ball up. It was always Ramey, who was really the main person in this action. The 4-man, who was either Cunningham or Brown, would come off this corner and bring that man with them. So they're going to clear out all this room back here. So they're going to make all that space empty. Ramey would drive into it, and then at this spot here, because of West Virginia's defensive rotations or defensive principles, because this man here is going to come in to block the shot from Ramey, this man here who's guarding number 1 Andrew Jones, he's going to come in and defend the person who's going to crash the board, which in this case is Brown. So therefore we've got this open shooter here, Jones. So then when Ramey comes into this area, he finds him, open 3-point shot, makes it, and 3 points for Texas. And they ran this play literally the entire game. So again, man coming off the corner, come into the space, find the open shooter. Again, it's Andrew Jones, make the 3-point shot, goes in. These are going to look all very identical. So this time Brown comes off, again, finds Andrew Jones, makes the 3-point shot, goes in. So again, it's that exact same principle. This man here is going to come crash to make sure that Cunningham here doesn't get the easy offensive rebound because his man is going on to block Ramey's shot. So Ramey's just going to find the open man, pass it to him, open 3-point shot. So as you can see, that's just 9 points instantly that they scored from that one action. They also ran it in other ways. So here it is again. He's going to come off it, except this time instead of finding the shooter, he's just going to charge and go through contact and get to the rim and get a contested layup. Early offense again, comes off the corner, goes into the space, is able to drive to the rim and get the layup. This time it doesn't happen in early offense, it happens as a second action, but this is the first play of the game, kind of indicating what their thoughts were. Again, look at all the space after Brown has come off into the top of the perimeter. They've got all this area for him to drive into. And again, if he really wanted to, because of the rotations on West Virginia's backside, he could find this shooter here, who's Coleman, or this shooter here, which is Jones. He just goes to the rim and gets the layup. So that's how Texas eventually won this game. They did that sort of action over and over again. As you can see, there was 3 clips there where Ramey got the drive and got the layup. And there was also 3 clips there where he passed it out to the top of the perimeter to find Andrew Jones after West Virginia defensive rotations. Thank you very much, and hope you learned something.